Alright guys, we are here for, well, this is actually the first one for August because some people skipped it, didn't they?
I'm looking at you, Cameron. You're in fucking some
Any
bumfuck
one of
desert.
you could have run this.
You were in a desert.
There's still 4 other people here.
Quickly, Cameron, pull up the map and indicate where you were.
I was
Put that on
mentally
your
in a
screen.
desert.
Cameron was in a desert, everyone.
And the other 4 people in here don't know how to operate a computer well enough to do a Twitch stream. So,
No,
Correct. To be
I don't
fair,
know how to use OBS.
well, that's fair actually. But to be fair, we also didn't get paid enough for that.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
Yeah, sorry, Mark.
So you had to find out this way.
Mark, Cam pays us in exclusive deals from his
yep.
shopping online.
They all
Yeah,
get,
I was
they
gonna
all
say,
get used
when's my-
toys.
Yeah, when's my bathwater getting here?
Oh,
It's going to be a little bit stickier than just normal water.
anyone want a banana?
Wrong time to ask.
I bought
No?
6 bananas.
Stop the stream, we'll do it again.
And we are now banned from everything.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh fuck, my microphone's not in the right spot. There we
Well,
go. Go, Cam.
I know I've got a few things lined up to talk about because it has been a month since we last talked. Before I jump in on that, does anybody have something else that they want to really bring up beforehand?
Yeah, actually, I burnt my dinner.
Same guy that had his dinner stolen once.
Yeah,
Um, No Man's Sky can ride on crabs.
my dinner. I left it in the stove, on the stove for a little bit too long, and the pasta burnt just a little bit. I'm a little bit sad, but it's okay, Cam. Tell us what you've got.
I have no way of solving your cooking problems.
Except
Can you solve my crab problem?
Mark, I'm sorry, but we can't get rid of your crabs.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck!
That must be disappointing to hear.
I've lived with it for now. What are we doing? What's Cameron's problem?
Crabs?
What?
Is Mackay known for their crabs?
I don't know. Luke, are you at risk?
You think I've done that much research?
I feel like you should.
I don't know. Mark, tell me.
Mark, how are your crabs?
I mean, they're fine, they're healthy.
Oh, there we go. They're healthy.
Okay.
Well, alright. So, for those that haven't been quite following, Gamescom is currently sort of on, or is it just finished? We're in Gamescom season, at least.
I have no fucking idea.
There you go, 20th through 24th. So, technically speaking, the main event hasn't started yet. But, much like E3, where E3 starts 3 days before E3, a decent amount of Gamescom footage has already dropped.
Woo!
So we have quite a number of trailers that have come out of that, but there's also a fair bunch of stuff that's not attached to Gamescom that's been announced in the course of the last month. And in my opinion at least, there's a few in there that are worth talking about.
Yes.
The starting point being, and I'm going to actually do this chronologically in terms of announcement, is we have gotten a multiplayer reveal for Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming in the back half of this, well, last quarter of this year. It's like October. Luke and I did actually talk about this. Now, I know I've hyped on about this one a fair bit over the course of this year so far, but having actually seen this reveal, I'm getting massive Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty 4 vibes out of this at the moment, and thinking it's making me more and more comfortable with the thought that this may be the good one. At the very least, at the moment, to me, this is looking like the better shooter option for the year. I don't really know of an alternative major shooter coming out. more major multiplayer shooter coming out. But yeah, it looks, and from everything we've seen so far and after the reveal, it really feels like the basically successor to the Modern Warfare trilogy. And I'm still a little concerned because Call of Duty has crapped it a fair bit over the last couple of years, but this is... I'm getting a bit hyped out of this.
Go with cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's rightfully so. With what they've announced so far, it certainly does. Even me, who was a bit of a skeptical back for the last few months about the game, I'm actually really looking forward to playing this little beta that they put out later in the month. At the very least,
that is worth mentioning. There is there is a private and then an open beta coming in September for everybody to basically give it a shot. And from those that have already gotten access to the alpha of the game to try it out, and hence why there is a fair bit of footage out there on the internet, it's apparently really quite well polished for this far out from release.
Almost definitely. I caught some of it myself, and yeah, I was very impressed with some of the gameplay they had, particularly one of the game modes they released, which was a 2v2. That one got a lot of attention, and it was really well done.
I'm actually really looking forward to a couple of small format styles for Call of Duty, because I have for quite a while felt that is actually where Call of Duty shines, and a 2v2 is an interesting idea. I can't name another shooter that's done a 2v2 format.
It's very
Army
unique.
of two.
Yes, I mean, if you want to get technical, then yes. But in this respect, it's unique because, for one thing, it makes it very quick game modes. You're going to be in and out of matches very quickly. Obviously, it's round based, but fundamentally, it's still a pretty quick match. But because it's only 2v2, it inspires a new look on strategy for the game as well. Obviously, you and your partner have to do quite a lot of communicating to get to win a match. When realistically, once one goes down, unless your surviving teammate's incredibly good at FPS, you probably lost the round.
It feels like it's going to be similar to the Rocket League 4v4 compared to 2v2. The way that they feel. You play those modes.
You mean like your odds of winning are the same as your odds of losing?
As if you're just by yourself, you're gonna get gangbanged by two people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to win a 2v1 if you're on a reasonably even skill setting to those two.
That's very true. So yeah, it invites some interesting strategy into the game anyway.
I think actually on the game thing, I think Rainbow Six is the only game that got closest to getting that 2v2 type feel that I can think of. Even though it's like 5v5, isn't it? But
like, I think that's realistically actually right now Call of Duty's biggest competition, because Rainbow Six has done a good job of bridging the gap between what used to be COD and Counter-Strike.
Mm-hmm.
And like, let's dial it back a decade. Your three big titans of the first-person shooter genre were Team Fortress, which has been well and truly replaced by Overwatch for pretty much all means, Counter-Strike, which is still going somewhat strong, and Call of Duty, and sort of Battlefield. Battlefield was sort of coming back into a resurgence at that time, but I don't think Battlefield's exactly doing a good job fighting for its own market share at the moment. And Rainbow Six has largely felt like it's stepped into the hole that's been left by Call of Duty not doing the greatest over the last couple of years. But yeah, I am. Sorry, was that you, Mark?
Yeah, I was gonna say, just a side note, if you ever feel like doing some 2v2 shooter games, there's always mean green plastic warfare.
That's
Oh,
true.
fuck off.
Is that just because you can? Is that because you can only find 2 other people to play against?
Quite
Probably.
possibly.
There could be more though.
Hate that soccer ball map. Fuck me.
There's a lot of rumors going around about the COD game, and it's hard to separate what is rumor at this point versus what is actually somewhat confirmed. But what we do seem to know is that there is going to be 3 scales of game mode. There is going to be the 2v2 as discussed. Well, 3 scales of competitive game mode plus co-op. And we've got the 2v2 that we've just discussed, and then there's I think they said 10-man mode? I can't remember.
Like 5v5 or...
I can't
10v10?
remember. I think it's 5v5. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see how quickly I can Google this.
Yeah, I'll cover you, Cam.
That'll do.
But then there's also a larger, which I think is a 20v20 actually.
Hot.
Anyway, so there's basically 3 scales of game mode. There's the outright just little standard size. Well, the standard size for Call of Duty, which I believe is around 10 people, and historically that's been 6v6. Then there's the 2v2 that we talked about, and then there's a larger, which I think they've said is 10v10, but I may be misremembering that number. Which historically was sort of represented by a 9v9 mode, but that 9v9 mode was quite literally only for one playlist on the multiplayer games that actually... Well, on the games that had a playlist system. And yeah, what's throwing this around a bit is that there's also confirmation that there will be cross-platform queuing or cross-platform matches. So the details around it are half rumor, half confirmed. So it's difficult to separate what's truth and what's rumor at this point. But at the very least, we know that there will be a way for you to play as PC versus PS4 versus Xbox.
That's interesting.
Where the rumour starts cutting in, and again, not sure how much of this is just straight rumour versus actual confirmation. There's an awful lot of information out there just dumped into very long videos, so it's difficult to tell unless you're going to dig through all of it to know what was said by a developer versus what is being just repeated by people on the internet that have heard rumours. But the most solid explanation I've heard so far is that the matchmaking system will try to match you with same platform, same input as the first priority within skill level.
PC with PC?
PC keyboard mouse with PC keyboard mouse.
Oh yeah, because that's right. You still have the ability to plug in a controller.
Yeah, and likewise, because both consoles support keyboard and mouse, it will try to match you with other console player. It will try to match up both platform and input method first, and then it will try to match the same input method, and then it will try to match across all. Is the explanation that's been given so far. Again, that could just be rumour, but it sort of makes sense. So the idea being that if you're a PC player and you're playing on a keyboard and mouse, if it can't find enough other keyboard and mouse PC players at the time to get you a quick match in your skill level, it will expand the search out to PlayStation or Xbox people that have got a keyboard and mouse plugged in, and then after that it will expand out to controller users. On the flip side, if you are on a PlayStation 4, it will try to find other PlayStation 4 people using a controller first, and then start expanding outwards. There's also outright confirmation at this point that you can cross-platform party up because of this. So if you know people that have it on a console or prefer to play it on a console, you can outright party up with those people, and it puts you into a sort of merged queue between the platforms that you both inhabit. In my mind, the hopeful end result of this is that we actually get a Call of Duty game and basically another first-person shooter that does the whole matchmaking queue thing and pulls it off quite quickly. Because let's be real, that's the biggest thing that Overwatch has been going for, that it is a very quick queuing game. And I think in a post-Overwatch shooter world, it's going to come down. It's going to come down to whether or not you have good queue times for whether or not you move away from Overwatch and onto this.
Right.
Everything changed when Overwatch hit the world. Queue times have been only 30 seconds. The world has not yet adapted to such a change. Governments have fallen. Societies have fallen into anarchy.
Just confirmation, because I have dug up the dates. The beta, depending on what your circumstances are, whether or not you've bought certain editions of the game, blah 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 blah. The first stage of the closed beta starts on the 12th of September. The fully open beta is on the 21st of September.
So what I'm hearing is that expect some uploads on the YouTubes then.
Yeah.
Like we did with our Battlefield maps.
Well, the biggest part of that is who's going to pre-order how big of an edition, or are we all jumping on the 21st through 23rd when I'm not here?
Is it not on the Oh, that's right, it's COD. No, fuck COD.
Yep. Activision, Battle.net. It's not EA.
Yeah. So I got the stupid pass for that, but I'd have to buy the game.
Otherwise, Luke, you said you've sort of looked into it a bit. Have you got anything to add?
I have to be completely honest with you. My weekend was shit. I didn't get a chance to look into it. I did want to. I had tabs up, but I lost my weekend.
What did you do? What happened? Did you lose it at Woolies?
I want to go to Woolies.
I don't know. That's what you tend to lose.
He's a Coles man.
These days I'm a Coles person. Did
you go to admin to try and find it?
My weekend?
Yeah.
How would they help me?
If you lost it, then surely security would have come and picked it up.
I feel like you're losing, just going off the topic, but anyway. No, I got sick on the Saturday and carried through to the Sunday. So I haven't had a chance, unfortunately.
He contracted an internet transmitted disease.
Yeah, I blame Cameron.
Cam.
Yeah, the bastard.
Cam slid right into Luke's DMs and gave him flu.
The plague.
Yeah, one way of putting it, I suppose.
Or, as I've started coining it, the Leinster lurgy.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, when did you coin it that?
That was at work about a week ago.
Who were you coining it to?
No, as in when it's like, oh, did you pick up the Western Australian special? No, I got the Leinster lurgy.
Oh, I gotcha. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I hope you took fresh. Anyway.
But yeah, so that's the oldest announcement that I've thought was worth talking about. If you guys want to stay on the topic of shooters, should we talk about a certain Overwatch patch? We could talk about America, but that's not exactly current news. There's always shootings in America. That's like saying that water is wet.
I thought you were talking about time splitters.
No.
No, but we can next. That'll be our third.
Just remember, Mark,
Keep your nieces and nephews away from Tetris and Solitaire, because if they play it, they'll become violent murderers.
Jeez, that got dark.
It's true.
It is very true. All the media in America is saying it, and clearly they're right, because why would they all say it and all be wrong?
I mean, that's
Fuck.
how I got started.
Yeah, I've murdered like 50 people already, simply because I played Minecraft.
Damn Windows 98 with default solitaire on it.
Oh, fucking pinball!
Space Cadet Pinball.
Yeah, Space Cadet Pinball. I have murdered so many people.
Anywho,
Anyway,
Overwatch?
Overwatch.
yep,
That's what
so
we're talking about.
I don't know.
for those that don't play the game, because I'm pretty sure if you play the game, you know what's happened, there's been a fairly significant update come out of, first of all, a new hero, new tank.
Hold it together.
But probably more impactful is roll queue and the locking of the game to a 2-2-2 format.
Now, we did bitch about this a month ago when it went through PTR. We spent like 40 minutes bitching about this.
Yes, it's now actually out, and we have had a chance to give it a shot.
I do find it quite restrictive still,
Um,
as I expected I would.
I'm interested to know what most people's opinions are here. Raymond's quite clearly against it. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a good choice for at least the competitive queue format.
Yeah, I'm okay with it in comp, but I do not want it in all pick.
I would like an option if you're manning the whole six-person roster, you can swap your roles.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
If you're running in with a full 6 stack, I would like to be able to swap off Rhine and go to Lucio.
I don't mind that, like, say I'm a tank for a whole game, but I don't want to be tank for defense and then, like, tank for attack. Like, I would like to be able to swap in between or something like that.
yeah, they almost need a way for you to be able to trade roles. But I get that they still need to hold it to 2-2-2, but they sort of need it so that you can trade it.
If they had the option, like you could when you're picking your heroes and shit, you could right click. Do you wish to trade role? Like mute, report, block, trade role.
In saying that, I have a sneaking suspicion I know why that's not going to work, because we now have separated ranks for each role.
And you queue at the rank on the role that you started the queue in.
Yeah,
If your queue is like a 400 MMR DPS, that's me. And you roll swap to a tank, then that would be a very unfair advantage for you.
yeah, I don't
Your
think.
enemy DPS would be that rank or equivalent.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to allow it almost purely on that. It'd be nice if in quick play, when it rolls out to quick play, that became an option, but I feel like they're not going to do it for that explicit purpose. I don't know.
Speaking of ranked roles, though, they have updated the ranked roles in Dota, because I remember last time I talked about the comparisons between Dota's ranked roles and Overwatch's ranked roles. Dota have maintained most of what they had, but they've kind of divided up the ranked roles a little bit more. So instead of it being you wish to request a lane, you now request a position instead. So you could request a POS 1, so your main carry, your mid, or your off-lane tank, off-lane big boy, or you can request a support. But what I quite like is being able to select multiple options. But again, we have the issues in Overwatch where we can't select multiple options because there's 5 of us or 6 of us.
Yeah, they have said that multiple options will be available, and it may very well already be there if you solo queue or small queue. But
Yeah.
as a group queue in competitive right now, it's not there. And I think that sort of solves it a bit anyway.
I mean, we complain about being made to play a certain role, but then you do like what happened last night. We played quick play, and there's a 4 stack. They
Yeah.
all went DPS.
Honestly, that
We're
match
like,
there,
"Oh, looks like we're doing a 6-team DPS game."
that match there basically solidified it in my mind that this is a good change. Because we got in and the other 4 people had basically already chosen to throw the match. Because we lost it as a team at the character selection menu.
And I convinced you that we should all go DPS.
Well, we were screwed by that point. Like,
There's almost no point.
yeah, to the point that one of the 4 stack quit.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, our lineup is getting absolutely stomped. Better fucking quit instead of considering my alternative options. Clearly, that's the only solution.
I mean, let's not be negative. He could have DC'd.
No, I watched him. That would have made us stood and stared at a door, and then timed out. But yeah,
Did you guys play ranked last night? Or
No,
just-
it's quick play.
Quick play. So, Luke, Nick, where do you fall in on the roll queue?
honestly, I think it's a terrific idea for the competitive. But I do agree that there should be some flexibility put in, at least for teams, for the quick play. Because at the end of the day, although it's nice to have that structure in a competitive environment, people play quick play because you can go there and do whatever you want. The idea is you go there and experiment with things. You don't get, you're not forced under the same rules that everyone else is. You go there just for a bit of fun to either blow off steam or to warm up. I don't think there's any reason why they should need to lock them into it. I mean,
Oh,
yes, sorry, go ahead.
it can also be used as a means to practice before you go into comp.
Exactly.
So
like
you
if you're going to
probably need-
practice, if
You
you're
should,
going to practice,
let's just make 2 modes. One where you practice for comp and one where you just have fun.
Yeah, but I
the
think that
old argument for both quick play and unranked.
I was going to
Yeah.
say.
Pretty much. But I'm guessing people still want to practice before going to comp, so it gives a means to do that without having to worry about versing 5 supports and a DPS in the opposite team.
I mean, I could see the value in that, but at the same time as well, matches don't take that long, and even though losing one match you don't lose sure you lose a decent amount of SR, but at the end of the day, any quick play match will give you a warm up. It doesn't matter how good or bad the other team is. The purpose of it isn't to verse strong people in quick play. It's just to practice how you do your rotations and your cooldowns.
Why I really like playing a hero I'm not going to play in comp.
You talk rotations and cooldowns almost like this is either Rocket League and you're rotating forward, or it's WoW and you're doing your own DPS rotation.
Oh please, we know this terminology works everywhere.
I'm pretty sure when we played comp, I practiced as Sigma and Winston, and I didn't play either of those heroes when we played comp.
Well,
But yeah,
That's you.
I practiced all my combos and rotations and shit with a monkey that helps with Reinhardt.
right. I was watching a video earlier from your Overwatch group mentioning that they believe that the Ryan Zaya meta will be coming back even in 2.2.2.
Well, they're both very strong tanks.
They are.
Especially with the cute little buff they swung Reinhardt's way. Not without fucking time, though. Was it like a 50% reduction to all CC effects?
30.
It was only
30.
30. But haven't they also done some? I think it's only on the PTR at the moment, or maybe it has been released. But aren't they also changing up his movement speed when he's got his shield up?
That was already implemented. It was, unless it's something else, it's due to the slowing effects. He will only get affected by one slow. Everyone now.
Yeah,
will get
everybody
affected
only
by
gets the
one
biggest slow.
effect.
That's right.
The strongest slow will be applied. It won't stack anymore. So if you're Reinhardt shield walking through a Symmetra door with your shield up, you stop moving basically. But now it's you just move as if you had your shield up and you slowly get microwaved to death
Gotcha.
instead of getting instantly obliterated.
I also did see something else in the PTR. May have only been announced even today. Apparently, they're changing the way your particle damage goes when if for someone who has inconsistent tracking, for example. They actually increased the gain that you have for like, let's say your you're just whipping your laser at someone, or as you're trying to track them, they're going back and forth. They take higher gains and losses depending on how often your tracking reaches them.
Yeah, like an echo kind of thing.
Yeah, so like
if you
an
touch
echo.
them, it lingers. I saw that as well. I think that was also added in the Sigma patch.
Oh, was it? Oh, there you go. I may have been watching an old video.
I saw a comparison of before and after the patch of Symmetra shooting at a tracer that was going backwards and forwards, and after the patch it died like half the time.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's the
so
one.
yeah, they've fixed that. They stabilized? No, equalized the damage output.
Yeah, that's the better term for it. Yeah, they equalize the damage.
Instead of ticks, they made it more like a da type thing instead of a.
Yeah, and so if you think about it from that respect, arguably at the current time, you could almost say that every single tank is viable in the current meta.
Winston,
I don't know about. Winston is for Winston mains.
He's so good at disrupting, but if you want a disruption tank, you pick Hamtaro.
That's true.
If you want a tank with a shield, you pick literally any other tank that has a shield, because Winston's shield is garbage. If you want maneuverability, you pick Diva and Hamtaro.
Not when I play Hamtaro.
And Winston himself, his hitbox is mildly irritating. His crit hitbox is inside his main body. It's at the top, but it's inside his main body, so he eats absolute shit to shotguns and close range guns. Head's lower in the body. So he's I'm feeling like he's not going to be as popular with the changes, because at the moment there's just people who do the job better.
That's true. But in saying that, speaking of the fact that this was the Sigma release patch,
hold it together.
Yes, I have actually been seeing that, even though I can't say it for myself because I'm a shit Sigma at this stage. Apparently, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some sort of nerf that comes to him eventually, because a lot of people have been saying that he out damages most DPSs at the moment with the way his abilities are.
Oh fuck! Like I don't know if it should do this, but as any support, you get altered by him and he chucks the rock at you, you die. You are out. Goodbye. Catch you later. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. He shoots his little gravity ball at you, shoots his big rock thing. It's left, right, good night. 200 health or less.
Yeah, he's a scary one.
I love the ult. It's such a nice ult. Does it? Maybe it does too much damage? Maybe? Like 50% of your maximum health as damage seems a bit...
I did a interesting ult combo with him last night, where someone did the Sigma ult and then I did the Doomfist ult over top of him afterwards.
Oh, fuck off.
I didn't see that one.
That did very well.
That would be disgusting.
I did see that one, but hang on. I don't remember you getting any kills.
Sings to me.
Pretty sure I got a kill.
Did you get a kill?
I'm pretty sure we got the point because of that.
Yeah, we got the point after that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I killed him. I killed the stragglers.
So to be fair, didn't you also try to do another combo not too long after, Mark, by yourself, where a Sigma lifted up when you were doing a Reinhardt hammer?
Shh.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I Reinhardt hammered and the Sigma fucking lifted everyone up and I wasted an ult. Let's not tell people about that.
Chemistry.
We'll cut it out.
Big whoops.
Exactly, yeah. It's a very good ult, but only... actually, the one thing I still haven't determined, maybe someone else probably already has by now, if you have a Sigma ult and you have a Zarya ult, which one wins?
I guess Zarya pulls them in and then you pull them up.
So do they then get pulled up, or do they stay in place and the ult gets wasted?
Sigma's ult overrules everything until he throws them.
Ah, okay. I think you might be onto something.
I haven't been able to test it yet, but the way it was phrased, the ability was phrased in its description, tells me that it overrules everything when he throws them into the sky. But
Like,
the
I'm
instant-
curious if you can
Yeah.
Doomfist ult when you're in the air, if you've been pulled up.
You still have the ability to cast abilities. Like, as Lucio, I started casting my ult while in the air. And
True.
when I landed, everyone got my shield.
From
I know,
what I've
'cause
been
I
able
know-
to try so far, your escapes don't get you out of it, though.
Yeah, because I've
Unless
noticed
you
that.
do them before it occurs.
No,
Or
Yeah.
as it's occurring.
Yeah, because not even when it's occurring, it doesn't work. Because
I know I've what's it called? Moira shaded out of it the moment I heard the words.
Moy would be the only one I could think of who can feasibly get
So
away
you
from it.
have half a second when he casts the ult because you see the location on the floor. If you get out of that ring before he throws you up, you take nothing. But if you go up, no matter what ability you use, you'll still take damage unless you
Yes.
have an ability that makes you invulnerable, like Zarya Bubble.
Yes, exactly right.
You can still get out of the ring once you're in the air, but he's still going to throw you onto the floor.
Even because even
Even
Kevin's
if you fall
figured
out
that
of the
out.
ring. And
Kevin's
I know
figured that by
that for
trying to
sure
glide.
because I managed to get myself out of the ring one time and I still got thrown to the floor. Because I was really excited. I thought, yes, I got out. Now I'll just fall calmly to the floor. No, I got thrown.
It sounds
Yeah.
sus.
I mean, I'm sure they'll put some parameters in there to say that there's ways of escaping or there's other ways.
Maybe that would be a
something
good
actually do.
nerf. Maybe that would be a good nerf for
Honestly,
the ult.
that enough
Like-
would probably be a nerf enough for me to say it's probably
Because
back
then
in
you
the
would need
realm
to
of
position it
realistic.
more. Because if you can get out of it, then it seems like it would be a reasonable thing to assume that he would no longer be able to throw you to the ground and you would just fall naturally. Since fall damage isn't a thing in Overwatch.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, we'll see what they play with anyway, because I'm sure nerf will be coming for him. It always does for new heroes.
Well, they nerfed Brigitte 8 times before they reworked her into that.
Yes. He is interesting now.
Side
Used to
note.
be my favorite healer, to be honest.
Yeah. Her output healing is nice, but that's not why she was played.
Yeah, but that's arguably why she was changed.
Yeah, it comes with the role queue of trying to merge everybody within the positions.
I always saw her as a durable healer.
I saw her as someone you can like walk around the corner and just like stun people and just keep whacking them.
Yeah, but the reality is now they've made it so that you have to have 2 healers, so they're trying to...
If you
They've got a
if you
new...
had a real team and your only healer was Brigitte, you would lose. She's not a solid healer.
Yeah, the idea though is that they're now outright making the rule that you must have 2 healers. So now they've got a balanced target of all healers need to have roughly the same sort of output. And out of that lineup, Brigitte was definitely behind, but relatively her DPS was way ahead. I'm not going to be surprised if we don't for there being a sizable Moira nerf coming in the future.
Shut your fucking mouth.
She's long overdue, to be completely honest.
Like,
She's not. No, do not touch her.
I mean,
Don't.
even I know. I played her as a healer for every single one of the comps that I stuck myself in support, and even I'm disgusted by how much damage she can do in comparison. My damage was equal to my healing in every single fight, and it's like I shouldn't be getting golds as a heal
Yeah.
as a support.
It's like, especially with how fast she can build her ult too. Like I've actually I played just full heal in one fight, and I actually got my ult faster just by healing everyone than actually damaging.
Well, to be fair, that's the intent.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it only takes you probably like less than 30 seconds if everyone's taking consistent damage to get your ult.
between her
The
ult
random
charge rate and her
supply.
DPS output, she's pretty ridiculous. And
She is.
yeah,
Actually, I don't know what they can really do to her though. If they touch anything too badly, they'll break her.
I think the reality that we're facing though is that Blizzard is going to end up using... Well, Blizzard's going to end up in one of 2 ways. Either A, somebody like Zenyatta ends up being used as the template for healers, and you have a few cases where they're tolerated for not having the same sort of output as Zenyatta does. Or they're going to use Mercy as the template. And it's going to be quite simple that no healer can do more damage than what Mercy's damage buff is worth, and no healer can do more healing than what Mercy's healing buff is worth, because
I don't think they would do it like that.
Mercy's in one of those limited situations where it's quite literally one or the other, whereas somebody like Moira can handle both at the same time, somebody like Brigitte can handle both at the same time, and Mercy just becomes such a solid number because it is quite literally just number DPS per second for the damage buff and heals per second from the healing beam. You've got a very straightforward number to balance towards, and then it just becomes maths.
I don't see them doing it like that, though. I would never use Mercy as the baseline hero, because
I honestly reckon
that's
somebody...
the whole purpose of her kit. She's supposed to be a one or the other hero.
Yeah,
If you people on one or the other, you're going to have trash.
I honestly reckon you'll end up seeing a situation where you'll probably end up with Mercy, Zenyatta, and Lucio as the three templates. And if you have a character that is one or the other, their output matches Mercy. If you have one that has AoE capabilities, their output matches Lucio. If you have somebody that has both healing and DPS capabilities, their output matches Zenyatta. End of discussion.
I don't want to feel like I'm playing a cookie cutter hero, though, so they need to keep them different.
Well, let's be honest, that's the reality of how Blizzard does these things. Look at, let's look at WoW.
We're not comparing this to World of Warcraft, though.
No,
Nothing about this game is in any way, shape, or form.
but
like
we outright
if
know
you're going
that.
to compare it, you compare it to Heroes of the Storm.
No, I really don't think Heroes of the Storm is the right call here, because WoW has become the template for how Blizzard tends to balance. Like, the reality is Blizzard aims for the maths to line up perfectly between whatever their template goal is.
I mean, a tank DPS healer, that sounds a lot like WoW.
Yeah, the reality is that Blizzard is using the WoW template more and more on these things. And I suspect that's exactly the way this is going to end up going. And if you want to see how that's gone, look at WoW. Disc Priest barely does any more DPS than any other healing class now.
Which is depressing.
There's no use for Discipline Priest to exist as a class anymore, then.
They've gotten to the stage that all 6 WoW healers have have close to the same healing output. God bless Resto Shaman's soul, but the other 5 have basically the same healing output and basically the same DPS.
That's not how it should be.
And you can see it from the way that most of the DPS are balanced. Most of the DPS classes, that they are so mathematically driven to this is the number of your output.
That's not how a game should be.
No, that's how Blizzard is.
It is how
I know
Blizzard's
it's
going.
how Blizzard is, but it's not how it should be. That's not fun or engaging.
And the reality is Blizzard's
That's a
just to
different kettle
implement.
of fish, though, because then we have to dig and peel into Blizzard's balancing of World of Warcraft. Can we fucking not?
But Blizzard's done that because they want it to be that they're enforcing X number of healers, X number of tanks, X number of DPS. They want it so that no matter what your random people are playing, they are outputting within the same realm. Now, did I just describe WoW, or how I seriously think Overwatch is going to end up?
You may be right, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see eventually. Anyway, once they finally get their shit together and decide where they want to take it.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
Definitely that Reaper. That Reinhardt definitely got most of his team killed.
Getting distracted.
Well,
Well, Mark linked something in the channel that we're supposed to.
I've actually just been watching my Overwatch highlights while you've been talking.
One of them I actually quite like, the one he posted in the chat.
Yeah, it's Ryan killing a Reaper, finally.
As in, it was two Reinhardts teaming up.
Yeah, I charged the Reinhardt charging at me and we pinned the Reaper.
Poor Reaper.
And then he fire striked the Reinhardt, he stepped to the side, and it hit a Tracer behind him.
Talk about collateral damage.
Anyway,
that was
what's next?
What's next on the agenda? Aside from Sigma,
Well,
who has to have one of the best fucking hero stories I've ever watched. From Overwatch, that was really, really good.
I thought you were going to lead us in for a second there.
Well, I did.
okay.
I may
Why?
have led you on. Well, all of the Blizzard ones all of the recent ones have been, I'm insert hero name. I do this, insert occupation. I like to do this, insert thing that they like doing. Also, relevance towards Overwatch association. And then some action cutscene thing, and then witty one-liner, and then something that ties them to another character. Whereas Sigma's origin story was his name and what he does, and then it was like watching Interstellar on very, very, very fast forward. Him trying to hold his mind together in a very, very amusing, for me anyway, amusing manner. And the voice acting is exceptional on this particular origin. There is your why.
And I thank you.
Why, thank you. But yeah, out of all the origin stories, I'd have to say Sigma's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
I
I
can remember.
rather enjoyed it as well.
Definitely a fresh-ish take on the established formula they have for introducing heroes. The way that they introduced the hero as well, not giving away his abilities, set the subreddit on fire for like a week as they tried to figure out what his abilities would do. People
That
were
was
talking
amusing.
about the PTR changes to the slow effects, like, oh, maybe they're adding the ability for him to stop time.
Certainly had some interesting ideas going into that.
So it was lovely, and it was my favorite. And Sigma himself is a very interestingly designed hero. He's
I
not
agree.
the most durable tank, much like Hamtaro, but he certainly has so many ways to mitigate that weakness. And he still feels like a very strong hero, maybe a bit too strong. Still feels good. Very smooth and a very fun hero to play, much like Reinhardt's not a smooth hero to play, but he's very fun to play. And that's what I think you should aim for when you're designing these heroes, is to make sure that the hero is fun, and they definitely ticked that box for me.
What else do you have in your bag of tricks, Cameron? Not that bag of tricks.
While we're on Blizzard, we'll get the one out of the way because it is releasing next week. Wow, Classic is finally going to be here.
Who's deserved their name?
Better question, who's reserved Liam's names?
Yeah,
Oh,
look,
God.
I mean, I was actually kind of hoping you did take his names.
I was half debating of actually going and reserving some of my own, but it's like, I'm not attached to WoW Classic enough to justify that.
Look, I'll be honest, if someone wants to try and take Taz Dingo, they're more than fucking welcome to do so.
They better not take Daz Tingo, though.
Yeah, fuck anyone who takes Daz Tingo, am I right?
Yep.
Are any of you guys actually thinking of giving it a shot?
No.
Nope.
Nick?
Not really.
I mean, retail WoW is too much of a grind for me. I don't want to play classic.
I've read the stories of Classic WoW. I do not need to experience that grind, thank you.
I've heard the stories from our great
We've
lore
already,
master, Liam.
We've already done the nerfed versions in Legacy Raiding. We do not need to re-experience that, thank you very much.
One of those things where, like, had I been around for the early days, yeah, I would have liked to experience it the first time around. Experience it a second for everyone else, and me for a first. No.
Like, if I was Liam, I would be real fucking keen for this because that is my childhood. That I get to re-experience again. I would be on that like a fucking... Nope, that's a racist analogy.
Like fucking Liam.
No. It was I saw a video the other day about a buffet bar, and it was very racist.
Ah, yeah, that's not.
That's a no from me, dog.
Jeez.
Not do that one.
I have to admit, I'm tempted to give it like a couple of, maybe an hour or two, just to see the severity of the differences, because just from what I have seen so far, it feels way more RPG than what modern WoW is.
Yeah, I look at the skill trees and all I can think of is Diablo.
But see, the difference between you giving it an hour and me giving it an hour means that I have to resub.
Well, Mark, I've been telling you should give in to temptation.
Give in to
Yeah.
temptation.
Hang on, I got this.
Give in to temptation. Give in to the dark side.
I don't remember harmonica, but okay.
Well, I can't do the Force Lightning, so like the closest thing I can do to Force Lightning is harmonica. It's just as painful.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus. What about you, Nick? Will you be taking it on? Will you be experiencing the challenge?
Probably not.
Oh, there you go.
Probably not, though.
There is still hope.
It'd have
Not
to
for
be a lot
classic,
more
but
than
for-
just Liam playing it for me to join it.
Wait, you would join if the rest of us did?
If the rest, probably. Like
Yeah,
enough to
that's-
make a raid party.
Oh my god. Could it
No.
be that our whole team is reforming?
There's half a hope we can get him into retail if that's the case.
I got your back, fam. It's a no from me, Cameron.
Oh, you're not playing retail, are you?
I don't know what that means.
That
God
means
damn,
current
Blaze,
live
boy.
BFA.
Could you not just fucking say current WoW? Retail WoW. Look, I'm
That's-
not going to go down to fucking
retail.
indie games to see what they're selling.
Oh, jeez.
As somebody that's...
Where was your retail section?
I'm actually surprised
Over on the
that...
WoW counter.
I'm actually surprised that you don't use that terminology, given how much you love Reddit.
Why the fuck? Fuck
I ha-
off!
I have seen
Raymond-
that one. I do.
Cameron's
I do
like,
admit.
Raymond reads Reddit and quotes Reddit often. He's clearly part of the Reddit hive mind. Fuck.
I
mean,
wasn't going to use that as the example of Reddit hive mind, but yes, I do believe you're part of the Reddit hive mind.
Suck a dick.
I am pretty sure you're the Reddit version of the Borg.
Wow.
That's a lie, and that's also really mean. I'm going to be offended for the next couple of minutes. You know what me being offended means?
Are you going to ask about who you have to upvote to in order to help Hong Kong?
Am I the only one that doesn't know what a Borg is?
What? Okay, yeah, look, that's the real insult. How do you not...
It's out of Star Trek, Mark.
Surely you've watched Star Trek once.
Or
no,
heard
not
of it.
really.
Namely Star Trek Voyager with the really hot people.
Yeah, no,
Person.
that's still
Singular.
pretty old and
One of the people was labelled as the big titty Borg girl.
Okay, well, link me to a video of that.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sure if you type it into Google, you'll get it.
Big titty Borg girl.
You'll probably get some
Borg
other kind
girl.
of porn, but yes, you'll get something.
Star Trek. Borg porn.
Star Trek.
That sounds legit.
Pretty sure that's a delivery service.
The delivery service, all right. Delivering fucking loads. Yuck.
Jesus.
Is it? Have you found it, or you've actually just stumbled across porn?
I've stumbled across Stormtrooper porn fetish.
That's definitely not it.
How? But okay.
Hang on, let me get up and look for her.
Literally, most related video searches for Star Trek comes up Stormtrooper.
Are you
Cherry
actually searching Star
Prime.
Trek
Yeah.
instead of Star Trek?
Anyway, we're gonna get banned for talking about this.
7 of 9.
Let's cut it forward a bit then, so that
What?
we don't run this one for ages. What have people been playing?
Hang on, I'm trying to find Mark.
Other than me slowly getting through my Fire Emblem game, the disappointing part is I've still not got to the time warp yet, so I'm wondering how slow I am. Mark, you know how you said the completion time? Well, to be fair, I'm fairly certain it's a rush completion time, but the completion time was 44 hours.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm up to that, but I haven't got to the halfway mark.
Nice. Maybe you just suck at games.
No, I actually
You're taking in the sights too much.
no, I actually think
Message received.
I actually think I invest too much time into actually playing the story and trying to actually, because I've almost outside of one person, I've almost got everyone who's possible to join your team onto my side.
You mean
Okay.
you don't skip dialogue?
Well, no, actually, I did learn something.
Yeah, that's her.
If you skip dialogue when someone's trying to join your house, you immediately say no. So I had to go back and do a 10-minute lecture because I realized that if you skip through something, sometimes you don't get to answer the dialogue. Instead, you just get such and such is very disappointed. Like, oh fuck.
What have you fucking done?
I said no. So yeah. So other than those little hiccups, it's going well. Other than that, I had a little bit of a pet peeve yesterday. I went to try to pre-order my Trails of Cold Steel 3 because I got a nice little email saying to me, "Oh, look at this deal! You'd love this. When you come order it, oh sweet, I will. Go online. It's not available in Australia."
Was it EB?
No. This one was what was it? Nice America.
There's your problem. It's not American.
I mean, to be fair, I could buy it for them, but it was gonna go from being a $90 cost to being $150, and I thought, well, shit, no.
Are they just not releasing in Australia, or there's just no
No,
Australian retailer?
No, our only Australian retailers are EB and JB Hi-Fi. Nothing yet released on our PlayStation 4. I did see another one that had a nice deal on the PS4, but again, that was only for America. And it's one of those things where you open up and you see it. You see like, oh yes, you just got to click the button and it says, "I'm sorry, you're in the wrong region." You're like, oh shit.
What was the game again? Sorry.
Trails of Cold Steel 3. You can buy okay pre-orders from EB and JB Hi-Fi here, but honestly, the better ones is anywhere else in the world.
Didn't you do a review on that Trails of Cold Steel?
On the very first one, yes.
What's the difference between Trails of Cold Steel and The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel?
Same game.
Same game?
Same game.
Why the fuck would you put more words in it then if it's the same thing?
Because it's part of a franchise. There's 4 or 5 different Legend of Heroes game or series, and this is one of the series. All the series are interconnected in some way and share a similar story, which all converge onto the very final games of each series. With
What
the
fuck?
with the 4th and 5th of the Trails of Cold Steel being a merger between having a lot of cameos of a lot of the other character series.
Christ, alright.
Yeah, they go out of their way to do some really good storytelling.
Yeah. Christ on a
Um,
bike. That's what you and Cameron are doing, right?
Price on a bike.
No,
Yes.
really, really good storytelling with the games you guys are designing.
Yes.
74.50 is the price I could find for it, Luke.
Yeah, it's the cheapest one I
Fucking
found too.
slides right on
Yeah.
by that one.
And the only disappointing part about that one is that it's not the best pre-order deal I've not the best bundles I saw over in the States was you could literally get a huge box which just came with all this extra stuff, but
Box.
yeah, it's
You know you can get boxes from Amazon.
Yes, I'm aware of that. But this box is made with the imprints of a tower, or say rather cathedral from inside from that's where the game is based.
Oh, is it like a
Right.
make your own train? Except instead of a train, it's a castle
I guess you could put it like that.
out of
yeah.
a sheet of paper. You make your train out of a sheet of paper.
No, this is
This
actually
is a castle out of a box.
This is a box which realistically it's kind of like it opens up and presents to you all the exclusive pre-order content that you got for pre-ordering the game, as well as the base game,
Is it like a pop-up book?
metal cases and all that sort of stuff, soundtrack, fan art, all that sort of stuff.
Is it a pop-up
Oh, and a
book?
plushie.
Oh fuck! All right, plushie. Never mind.
I know. Say no more. So yes, I was a bit depressed the other day. I went to Nick and said, "Oh, cool! I'll pre-order it on PlayStation." I said, "Do you want to play it?" Nick's like, "Oh, I guess I'll play it if you pre-order it." I went on there. I'm like, I go back to Nick. Well, it's not on Australia. Nick couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, can confirm he went wah.
I was like, I don't understand this. Why can't I have nice things? Anyway, the game doesn't come out for another 2 months, so I'll have plenty of time to whinge and hope and pray that the PlayStation Store here eventually gives us something to go on. I mean, it's a PS4 exclusive game. You'd think for whatever reason that eventually the PlayStation Store would offer some sort of pre-order deal, but I don't hold high hopes for it.
Did your voice just get really loud just then?
Probably. I don't know, did it?
I think Mark's just confused.
I think
Mark is
I am.
confused.
I'm still
Mark
looking
probably-
at bald girls.
Oh,
Yes.
he's still trying to find that one
Nice.
picture.
Mark probably
No,
dozed off and woke up
He's
to
just
Luke's
going
voice.
more and more down the porn pile.
There's a lot of
Prawns?
R34 out.
Yeah, he found prawn.
Oh, the
Fucking
prawn.
love
Oh,
that
that's
prawn.
right, the prawn. Yeah.
Prawns, most hated enemy of the people of Mackay. Mackay are all about their crabs.
So I don't eat seafood. Not very often.
Well, tough fucking luck. You're going to be like a leper in Mackay. I think I'm going to throw stones at you. Oh, Mark. You like 7 of 9 then with that grunt?
Yep. That was me trying not to cough my lungs out, and it was just a little.
Right.
Wait, hang on. That was you not trying to cough your lungs out?
Yep.
I see.
Sometimes I just want to.
Was that a double negative, or did I say it properly?
I don't know. Let's move on to Nick. Nick,
I
what have you
agree.
been playing?
Nothing.
He's been playing with himself.
Well, no, he does have games to play because when I went down to visit him early on this month, I left 2 Nintendo Switch games with him, so he has something to play. It depends if he ever loaded them.
I'll
I
start
just
Nick
got-
off. I've been playing Grim Dawn.
Who? What?
Oh, that's true.
That's a
Yeah.
weird sounding Nick.
I've been playing
No, no.
Grim Dawn.
Jesus
There we go.
Christ.
I think I did a reasonably good job of that.
King of impersonation.
Your Mark impersonation of you is much better than Mark's impersonation of you.
Sorry, Mark. But no, yeah, I suppose I've been playing a little bit of Grim Dawn as a multiplayer aspect bit, but
Mind you, we haven't made very much progress. I
evidently.
think every time we jump on, we play around for a bit and then do one quest and call it a friggin' night. 3 hours later, it's like, how the shit do we not do anything?
somehow we gained 3 levels.
Yeah, I know, we're getting through levels, but we don't even freaking progress the main story. I think our problem is that every time we jump on, like, oh, let's go back and kill those bosses for more loot. And then it's like, oh, look, 2 hours are gone. Time to do a quest. Oh, that took an hour because we got lost.
Fucking hell.
To be fair, when you're looking for the quest marker, you don't know where you're going until the very moment you're 5 feet away from it. So it's like,
That
until
sounds like
then, it's like,
terrible
shit,
design.
I better listen to this quest. This guy's given the quest. Oh shit, you're boring me. Oh, skipped. Oh, I guess I don't know where I'm going anymore. Time to consult the quest guide. Oh, it doesn't tell you where to go. Well, Nick, time to start wandering.
Yeah, well, it does also test your ability to sort of read instructions and just find it based on words.
I remember back earlier
Is
where I
the
used
game
to
a
actually.
teacher?
Sorry?
No, because the teacher would give you hints. This gives you no hints.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
In saying
It's a
that,
teacher in an exam.
Stop looking at your friend's work.
You're just being examined the whole time.
that's true.
At the end of the game, when you finish it, there's going to be no credits. It's just going to tell you
Something out of 100.
You scored a 10 out of 100 for following instructions.
Oh
You
shit,
are
yeah, that's actually low.
Garbage at directions.
Sorry, I'm thinking to myself for a second, like 10 out of 100. I'm like, that's not that bad. Oh wait, that is low.
What?
This isn't a logarithmic scale, Luke.
I'm thinking to myself, 10 out of 100. That's not that bad.
See, Luke counts things out of 100. He goes 98 out of 100, 99 out of 100, 10 out of 100, 100 out of 100.
Yeah,
Luke's going 2 out of 4. That's halfway.
Exactly, that's not so bad.
The math checks out.
Oh jeez. Nick, have you loaded up any of those games I gave you?
Yeah, I played a little bit of Legend of Zelda.
What have you thought of it so far?
Not bad. I think it'll take me a fair while to get through most of the stuff because it's no
Have you
easy
got the
way
glider
to.
yet?
No, that's still. I've got one more place I got to do first. One more shrine.
That's right. You should have to get there pretty faster than me. I left. I stopped playing the game about 7 or 8 months ago, and it was literally the moment before I got the glider. I jumped on, did one quest, and got the glider. But so, as long as you complete it for the next 8 months, you'll beat me in a track record.
Cool. I've been mostly just wandering around trying to do little side quests that you don't actually know exist. So you just read words and look for blue text, and it goes, "Oh, that must be something interesting to look for."
I don't mind them as long as they're not like the only way to get side quests. I don't mind little cookie crumb things that you pick up and go, ooh.
Oh, for me, it's good to have found it after the fact when I wouldn't need the item. The item was like something that gives you like warmth resistance. Say cold resistance. So what it means is you won't start freezing to death at low temperatures. It has to get very, very low to get it. I found it after going through the ice already.
You must have done more searching than I did. The very first time I had to go to the ice, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna die if I do this, because the very first time I tried to go for the ice, I slipped off of the bridge, crossing toward the ice, and fell in the water and drowned. That was an experience. I don't even know how I managed it, but I did. Meanwhile, the little goblin things are back on the other side, laughing at my corpse. And I'm just thinking to myself, surely they don't expect me to climb this icy thing and survive. So eventually I reluctantly find a way up, but not after like every time I lose like four out of my 5 health bars, or however many I had at that point. Maybe it was only 4. I lose like 3 health bars, and I have to quickly go into my inventory, chomp on a bit of meat, and be like, haha, look, I can start suddenly walking again. I'm no warmer than I was before, but now I have more health. And you just literally just chain your healing until you get to the next shrine. It's like, Jesus Christ, surely that's not the only way of doing that part.
It's not.
So I did it wrong.
You just had to, down where those goblins were, you could steal some chilies and make a hot stew that gave you ice resistance.
Well, shit, I don't know how to play the game. Just out of curiosity, where was that recipe?
It wasn't a recipe. You just found.
Those goblins were not laughing at you because you fell in the river. They were laughing at you because they had the hot stew, and they're like, "This guy's fucking stupid."
Yes, and they were right.
Yeah, you obviously when you're dabbling around the cooking, if you grab if the chili's properties are like basically cook this with any other ingredient and you'll make something that helps you fend off the cold.
Jesus
That was
Christ.
the hint.
I clearly did not read anything I was cooking.
Wow.
Well,
Just like IRL.
yes, very much like IRL. So what you're
But
saying
yeah.
is that means I also made it more difficult on myself when I then trudged through the same cold to get to the next shrine.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well, at least the game's with you now. I feel like it's in better hands.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to have this doublet that they gave me because it actually gives you the ice resistance permanently while you got it on.
I believe I actually spent half a day in that game one time looking around, thinking I had to make a coat.
No, you have to win it.
Look, after what you just told us about those chilies, yes, I do believe it.
Good, because I did. Oh, actually, another thing. Did you ever try killing one of those laser mechanisms?
Yeah, I did, and it killed me, so I didn't do it again.
I got really close to killing one, and
I
then
don't think you meant to.
and then for some reason I just walked away. I can't remember why. I think I actually got bored. Oh no, I fell down a cliff.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that
two
sounds
different.
like
That's
getting-
two different things.
I fell down a cliff. That's right. And then when I picked myself back up there, I'm like, you know what? I don't even know what I'm doing. I have no more food left. I thought I'm just going to walk away. So yeah, that was my experience with Breath of the Wild. I'm glad yours is going better.
That's pretty fun.
Alrighty, on to the next person. Mark, what have you been playing this last month-ish?
I don't remember where I left off on our last recording, so I'm not 100% sure.
That's right. I'm happy
Yes.
for you to repeat yourself.
Say words and I'll yell at you if you've repeated them.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been playing a lot for like the last 2 months, but I have played oh fuck, I don't even remember what it's called now. The West of Loathing.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's like a little stickman Western game, black and white, and you go around doing comedic things. There might be a review out in the future if I ever make it.
Yes,
And also another indie game that was on my Xbox Game Pass, Stillness of the Wind. It's like a little... You're an old lady and you're living by yourself in like a desert, and you just gotta farm and milk your goats and make cheese and stuff and just sort of survive.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, like it's sort of supposed to be relaxing, but honestly, you don't progress. You're just doing stuff to not die. And yeah, and there's like a storyline as days go by, and yeah. That's about it, honestly. Other than like Rocket League and stuff, I haven't really been playing a lot of games.
Yeah, that's fair though. I remember that West Loathing one. That was the game where, what was it? One of your ways to pay off a bandit was to do push-ups and gain strength.
Yeah, so you have towns, and you leave the town, you go to like a big zoomed out map, and you just click on the town. Your little man runs across the map and goes to the next town, but like you can run into random stuff in the middle. And I ran into a bandit, and the bandit was like, "I'm going to rob you. You have to pay me in 10 push-ups." And then it had like a little dialogue option of like, pay this man in push-ups and gain 5 strength, or completely ignore this guy and walk away.
The preferred method for all bandits. Goodbye.
Yeah. And just like random stuff like you find a bandit, you go to the sheriff and there's bounties, and you chase the bounties down, and the bounty is sleeping under a tree, and you're like, this guy is sleeping. Options are let him sleep, tie him up, or shoot him. And it's like, okay, I'll shoot him. And there's like, after that, it's like, are you sure you really want to shoot him? He's sleeping. It's like, shoot him or tie him up, shoot him. are you seriously want to shoot this unarmed guy that's just sleeping? It's like, you shoot him? Yes. Now he's dead.
Oh Jesus! How do you live with yourself?
Well, there was a bounty out on him. Gotta
Yeah.
fucking live somehow.
It's just,
bet
it does,
you-
like, these little dialogues where if you do something bad, they sort of, like, drag it out and, like, you seriously want to do this?
Oh
When
my!
Mark comes back into town, he just whips out a harmonica and goes, "I've done the bad thing."
Yeah, other than that, not much is happening.
And what about you, Cameron? I think I saw you for last, I don't know how many days or so, trying out Subnautical.
Yeah, Subnautica has been the latest one. I made the decision a bit over a week ago that I was going to just... I basically cornered off the section of my Steam library, the games that I've never really played but have been meaning to, and it was just like, I'm going to pick one of these and start playing it. And that game was Subnautica. Yeah, would have been just under a fortnight ago. And yeah, it's good. And by this point in time, I'm assuming there's most people that have heard that it's good, but yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
I've certainly heard good things about it, but
It's a very fair assumption to make. It's a survival crafter.
Yeah, I was apprehensive because there's been so many shit survival crafting games.
I'm not a fan of the underwater aspect. I'm not too sure how that plays.
You have the lassophobia, Mark.
Yep.
The short version is it would lose an awful lot without it. There is two things that there are two things that about Subnautica that really jump out. That it has a really well developed world, and the whole underwater thing is a huge part of that. Like, this is not a procedurally generated world. This is actually a designed world by the developers. I think there's a tiny bit of procedural, there's a bit of randomization to it in terms of what exactly spawns where, but the general mass of the world is set. And it works really well. The short version is it's actually a really beautifully designed world. There's been a heap of time where it's just I want to explore rather than anything else, really. Then the second part that works really quite well for it is that unlike most survival crafting games out there, this actually has a storyline, and it is structured as a single-player game. There is no multiplayer content to this game, first of all, which is, again, rare for this genre, but it's actually got a structured single-player storyline. And the crafting of it actually plays into that, because an awful lot of the progression for it is you needing to access some higher technology or get to some better equipment to be able to move forward. You're not being locked off because you haven't done some specific event or the game just hasn't let you into something yet. It's because you haven't crafted what you need to move forward. In saying that, though, there's been a few cases where the story has unfolded the story unfolds completely naturally for the best part, but it's a little bit weird because I've jumped some section that I shouldn't, the natural path through I've jumped forward over. None of the story events give a flying shit whether or not where you are. The story unfolds in its own way, at its own pace. The vast majority of the story events really don't care what it is that you're doing. They're mostly on a timer. And there was actually one point where I got caught in a situation where it's like, fuck, did I make the wrong decision? Should I have done insert thing here to make this come out better? And that was purely because I hadn't explored aggressively enough up until that point. Now, I'm mostly certain that that is a scripted event and there's no way around it, but I'm wondering whether or not, if you had enough knowledge of the game, whether or not there is a way to change the outcome of that specific occurrence. I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, because it's a solid game. My one major negative for it is that they have done a remarkable job in building the underwater world and the underwater graphics. And this is a little bit of a spoiler. There is an actual above water portion of the game.
I'm pretty
Spoilers.
sure, Cam, the very start of the game, you start above ground.
Above ground.
Yes, above ground.
You start
Yeah.
above the sea.
Yeah, there is a section. Well, there is more than one section, but there is a portion of the game that occurs out above water on land, and there is clearly a lot less attention to detail on the landmass.
Well, I feel like with a game called Subnautica, I feel like that they've applied their focus where it should have been applied.
Yeah, but it's surprisingly so of how... Like, I'm not normally one to get caught up on graphic detail, but the graphic quality under the water and the graphic quality on land are just... There's huge difference. And
Two
it
sides of the coin.
it actually threw me out a bit, just the stark contrast to the difference between the quality of underwater and how just incredibly well crafted that is compared to the quality of above water.
Maybe the above water was the last thing they did, and they're like, "Fuck, we're out of time. Release the game."
In saying that, this thing apparently had a very long development cycle.
Oh, it did.
So, yeah, I don't know.
It was an early access game, wasn't it?
For ages. But yeah, solid game. I'm umming and ahhing about how much more time I want to dump into it, because this is one of those things that, being a sort of survival crafter, I could just push through to story end as fast as possible, or I could do the whole survival crafting thing and build.
I would say at the bare
Give-
minimum, do the story.
Given how much that this started out as, I want to try and push through my backlog a little bit, I'm apprehensive about diving into the building part of it, but I am actually really enjoying that part of the game.
Fucking
So-
do it. YOLO, Cam.
It's just there's just a lot of games fighting for time at the moment when you start looking into my backlog, and it's like,
Currently, Subnautica has your time, so build a
I say
fucking
ditch it.
castle. Build a castle, Cam.
Ditch it.
But yeah,
Like the angel and the devil.
if you guys are looking for an exploration based game with a survival crafting element, and first of all, I played the game on what is technically speaking the hard difficulty, but realistically medium, because I don't count their easiest difficulty as there are 4 difficulty settings, and I'm playing on the third of the 4.
Okay.
Their easiest one really doesn't count. Like,
Mhm.
you literally can't die.
It's just
I could've- I could
challenge me not to die.
I could imagine that the top difficulty of this would actually be a hell of a challenge, and in an infinite amount of time, I would love to go back and play the entire game on that difficulty, because I reckon it would be worth it. But I don't don't have the time to sink into it for that. So, but if you want a meaty challenge in a survival game, that's not a bad way to do it either. But yeah, if you're after exploration, strong recommendation.
Good job on doing your 5-minute review.
Yeah, and that concludes that 5 minutes.
Just send those notes along to Luke or Nick, and they can upload that for their review.
Okay.
Easy.
I would say give it to Nick.
Alright, Nick, congratulations.
It's an honor.
It's something.
Mm-hmm.
So, did Raymond talk?
No,
Ah.
Luke
Big.
skipped me.
Sorry.
I watched Luke go up the list, Nick, Mark, himself, and then Cameron, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry. For some reason in the back of my head, I was thinking to myself, Raymond has talked enough. Maybe it's because I heard the harmonica. I thought, no, Raymond has talked enough.
No more
For
of
some reason,
Raven.
didn't enough, please, no more.
Right, Raymond, we're saving best till last.
Yes.
So we're ending it now.
Yeah, we saved the best to last. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later. Harmonica out. No, I haven't been playing too much. The closer we've gotten to the international, the more that I've been playing Dota. So I can actually click over to Dota. So the international is here. For Dota, the prize pool is $33 million and 500,000 or something like that. So it's a big pile of dosh.
Are you going to win?
I opened a web page and that removed my internet connection momentarily. So the current prize pool is sitting at $33,324,582. The winner will receive 15 or 14 million of that, and second place will get 5 million. So it's a very, very lucrative pool if you have any skill at Dota. I believe 16th place, who got eliminated yesterday, they're walking away with a good $80,000 for their team. So,
Winner there, Jesus.
yeah, they've definitely cashed in. They flew to Shanghai, walked away with 80,000 American. I think that's a pretty good payday, if you ask me.
Enough at it.
And they don't even get to touch the main. They don't even get to touch the main arena. So that starts tomorrow, and it's going to be 6 days of Dota games, like best of 3s, best of 5s, that type of shit, to determine who is the best person at wasting their life at Dota.
I mean, you say wasting life, but if you win,
well, yeah,
good on you, to be honest.
Each of the players of OG last year walked away with $2.5 million each. So, I'm like, fuck, that is a payout.
If you win, you're going to have a new appreciation for how taxes work.
That is true.
Yeah, but it's still a fucking payout, Cam. Anyway.
Or offshore bank accounts.
Yeah, one of the two.
Anna was he was 18 at the time when he won last year, and he's 19 this year, and his team has a good chance of winning again. So Anna's probably going to get another payout. It's very exciting. Lots of exciting things to happen. It's actually pretty much everyone is in agreement that this is will be one of the best internationals. There's 117 heroes in the game. And of the 117, 109 heroes have been picked in the group stages. You get 10 heroes per game, and there's been 150 games played so far. So that's pretty good in terms of balance.
That's what you want.
The balance team should be very proud of themselves for making it that only 7 heroes haven't been picked yet. A good job to them. So that means it holds high hopes for the diversity of heroes picked in the main event. I'm super duper keen. Hopefully, we'll actually get some new announcements, something new, maybe a hero. Heroes come out a lot slower in Dota than what they do in Overwatch. We get like 3 in Overwatch. Dota, we get 1. Last year we got lucky, we got 2. And this year I think we're going to get 2 again because we got Mars not too long ago. Really hoping that we get another one at the TI. It's been no real controversy either with the international yet either because it's being held in China, Shanghai. So it's lucky so far to have avoided any and all real issues that are currently in China at the moment. Mind you, though, Twitch chat definitely doesn't give a fuck. So I just mute the Twitch chat because I don't really have the time to read Tiananmen Square 50 million times. So, but yeah, realistically, the only thing I've been doing, aside from going on a holiday, is Dota. Once the international ends, I'll probably break from Dota like I do every other year and play something else for a couple of months. I have Dishonored I need to finish. I was actually playing Total War. I think I said that last time, but I'm 90% sure Total War is the reason my power supply ran out of power and died or whatever the fuck. So I don't think I really want to play Total War Warhammer again for a little bit. I do have the Assassin's Creed games that I would like to play, namely Origins, but I played the first 90 minutes and holy fuck, I have never been more bored. Does the game get interesting? Origins?
Where are
It's
you
the
up to?
Egyptian one.
Where are you up
the
to?
first 90 minutes of the game.
Oh shit.
I'm still in Tutorial Island, or the tutorial town.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
I've done a couple of quests, but it doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed, and it just feels like
It's
things.
let's put it this way. I enjoyed the latter part of the game when it started bringing arguably the unrealistic side of the Assassin's Creed part into it, but the unrealistic side of the era. That was fun, and the end game content, arguably, I guess you could say, is fun. But honestly, unless you get the DLC, a lot of it sort of it gets a bit depressing after a while. The best way I can describe it is after I finished playing Origins, I immediately thought to myself, okay, if I carry my current enthusiasm over to Odyssey, the two games are almost like identical, save the error. I should be able to keep them motivated and just keep plowing through. I played 3 hours of Odyssey and gave up.
Wow, really? Fuck.
Yeah.
Because I was told that Odyssey was better than Origins.
Odyssey is better, but I think the worst thing I ever did was trying to think I could chain the two together. I honestly didn't. Honestly lost when I had to go back to the very beginning and try to experience everything again. I'm like, you know what? This is just too much for one session. I'll just go away for a few months and come back when I've forgotten all about it.
How many hours of gameplay am I in for Origins? Because I know what Ubisoft games are like. They're big, open world, and you're just basically ticking things off on a checklist to complete the game. With side quests. They have the worst fucking side quests out of every single one I know.
Surely there's somewhere I can double check that figure of mine. Where?
Anton did also buy me Surviving Mars, or whatever it is. He has been pinging me every couple of days saying, hey, have you played Surviving Mars yet? And every single time I've had to say no because, 1, no, it's Dota season, and 2, I'm now in Adelaide for the next week and a half. So, no. But that is definitely something I would want to play, namely because he bought it for me, the piece of shit, and I hate it when people buy games for me. It's not Christmas, it's not my birthday, don't. So I have to play it, and I'd be interested in seeing how good it is. Is that a message from him? No, it's a message from Mark.
I'm pretty sure Mark has the game.
Fuck off, Mark. Let's play Surviving Mars, and then pings Anton. Good on you. But yeah, so once Dota season's done, I'll be reopening my body to games that aren't Dota. Fuck you, Cameron.
Does Cameron have
Multiplayer.
it?
Yeah, I just realised I haven't.
Let's
Is it
go.
Is it multiplayer?
Is it multiplayer?
I don't fucking know. I don't even
It's a
have it
grand
installed
strategy
yet.
game.
Is that what it is?
Is it?
Oh, it's
The-
a
the-
fucking strategy game.
The
It's-
website
you
says
play
single
this
player
game.
only.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy playing together.
Yeah, enjoy playing together, guys.
What
I'm
age are you
confused.
in?
What age are you in? I'm going to click
Oh
on the
my
store
God.
page, rip my internet. Hello, I am Laggy. Bleep bloop. Bleep bloop, bleep bloop, bloop, bleep bloop. Blah.
The only
It says single
genre has
player.
a simulation.
It says single player on Steam. It's got single player Steam achievements, controller support, trading cards, workshop cloud.
Oh, is it only single player? That sucks.
Yeah,
Who's
I'm
come
not
out?
gonna
so-
play it then.
Anton fucking bought you, Mark, hater of grand strategies, a grand strategy that's only single player.
He didn't buy it for me. I already owned it.
Oh, well, fuck you then. You could have
There
just
you
played
go.
with it.
Mark bought the game without realizing it.
Nah, it's on Game
What?
Pass.
Fuck, Mark.
There you go. Mark received the game for free without realizing it.
I don't know about Surviving Mars. It looks like City Skylines, except with a bit of Crusader Kings thrown in. And I like both games, but I don't know if I want them combined. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There'll be a review coming out for it when I eventually play it. I might review Dishonored 2 when I eventually finish that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like how I might review The Other Worlds or Moonlighter or Where the Water Tastes Like Wine.
can you review your crabs?
Maybe. I actually, now that you've said it, I do want to play No Man's Sky. I feel like I should buy that now.
I don't think anyone said No Man's Sky at all in the last 2 hours.
I did, right at the start when he started recording, I said, you know you can ride crabs on No Man's Sky?
I feel like I should go back and listen because I don't even remember that.
That's
don't
why we
remember
started talking about crabs.
It will be up on Wednesday, guys.
Oh shit! I have to wait till Wednesday.
Fuck off. So the first thing I hear when it starts up is Mark saying No Man's Sky. Alright.
I mean, he probably cuts it out, but it was
Why
there.
am I cut? I haven't cut these things, and in case you guys aren't aware, we are still live.
Nah, we're
Yeah,
not
I know.
live. We'll cut this.
We're not live. I'm not alive. I'm a little bit dead inside. It's why I'm on holiday.
Hey.
Actually, I'm going to really enjoy the intro to this one because Mark kept on fucking cracking a funny and I just could not hold myself together. I'm really hoping the microphone didn't pick up my little giggles.
I could hear you laughing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh,
on it.
fuck!
Alright, let's wrap this up, guys.
Wrap this up like an Eggs Benedict. No, that's not what you wrap. Wrap this up like a rap from Hungry Jack's.
A male phallus.
Wrap this
Right.
up like you would when you wish to use protection in intercourse with a male, female, male, male, just anything with a penis, really.
That's
Why'd
a
you say
requirement.
female?
I mean, you can even do it solo. I've been told that is quite a nice thing.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I feel like we should start editing videos.
We should start editing video. We definitely should start editing these. Also, don't be silly, wrap your willy.
If anyone notices any skips in the video when you watch this on YouTube, you'll know why.
Yeah, we
No,
don't
that
want
you
there to
won't.
be
That's the
any
problem.
editing into the video because, I mean, if Cameron edited, it would be a bit weird.
Anyway. We will call it there, guys, and maybe next time we will actually be on in a fortnight's time.
Yeah, well,
Perhaps.
maybe you shouldn't be in the middle of a fucking desert and then ask us the day of. Oh, you guys have the server shit, right? I'm so bad with OBS. I need like 3 days to prepare to record something because I
How?
don't know how to work it properly.
Jesus Christ.
I'm garbage. I need to work on it.
I'm pretty sure you have to hand in your millennial card. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you're expelled from our generation.
Actually a baby boomer.
Yeah. Are you 80?
No.
I'm actually glad that someone knows what a millennial is, though.
Yeah, a millennial is definitely Generation Y. Fuck off, anyone who's in Generation Z. You're not a millennial. You're a sack of
I was
shit.
gonna say, yeah,
God.
there was an admin girl in my office trying to speak like she knew all about it, and then got shot down by all the people at my place. It was quite amusing.
What,
Yeah,
was she
all
like
the
18?
teens think they're millennials.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm such a millennial. Actually, no, you're the offspring of the Gen X and arguably even more useless than us.
Agreed. Oh, by the way, Raymond, I figured out it took me exactly 33 hours to complete Origin.
33 hours. I'm an hour and a half in, and it feels like the story has done nothing.
Yeah,
Isn't
online
it
it's
like a
listed.
100-hour game?
Online it's listed as 30 hours for story only.
Jesus.
So yeah. Anyway, we will talk again. Catch us all that next time.
See you next
Boy.
time.
You will bring out a new patch.